And we are, oh, wait, it's going again. Hold on.
Yeah. I can close up on it. And close it up there. There we go. Go back.
And we're back. See, you too can be in charge of a call and technology. We're Dee and Larry Korchin, and we're super glad that you guys are on tonight. I know some are newer coaches, and welcome if this is one of your first visits with us. We are really glad that you're here. And this call is really for you guys. We want it to be really about community and realizing that we may be all over the place and all over the country, but we are in this together, and together we are making a huge difference, you guys. We're making a huge impact in helping other people, and we want to provide value content for you guys and just a place that you can gain more that's going to help you get that personal growth that you want, and as well as the growth in your business. So a new feature that we are going to add starting tonight is what we call up close and personal. And what we're going to do is this will be pre-designated each week, but each week we're going to talk to two of our coaches and just have them share something good that's going on with their business, because I think it's always important for us to focus on the positive and really see the good, or maybe there's something good that you've been doing that's working really well. That might be an idea to share with the team. And then also to share a challenge. And then we're just going to talk through that. So that'll just be a portion of tonight's meeting. And then we'll take it from there with some marketing ideas for you guys. So we're going to kick off tonight. And Pat Daniel was one person that said that she would be willing to chat with us tonight. So Pat, if you'll come off unmute and maybe just introduce yourself, your story, how long you've been coaching, and then what you'd like to offer us tonight.
All right. I've got my Halloween look. I'm kind of a glowing head here tonight, but I'm at the ballpark with my daughter. So hopefully y'all can see me okay. But I started the program a year and a half ago, January, or a little more than that now. I've been coaching a little over a year, and am regional director, and thrilled with that, and have just really enjoyed it. I got into this because of my sister, Carol Tulasalo, and just saw the amazing success and just how happy she was and what a difference it was making in her life. And so Mark, my husband, and I and our daughter all started the program at the same time. We all had great success, and so we thought we would never coach, but we felt like we had to share it because we had had such good success, and we felt like we had really found something that we should share with other people. So it's been a great ride. So
that is awesome. It's been fun for you to watch you kind of step from that place of, oh, I'll never coach, to actually not only coaching, and that's because of your sister who offered it to you numerous times. Carol's on the call tonight, but then also to watch you grow and actually start to have fun helping more people. So tell us, Pat, what's something that's working well for you, or that is going well for you in your business right
now? I think just this particular month, it feels like a lot of things I'm not doing as well as I should. And so I think where I usually would go with what challenges me is my emotions. But actually, I was thinking about it, and I think I'm kind of, I'm going to use that as my good this week, that I really feel like though everything is I'm not hitting every goal I'm wanting to, and not everything is going exactly as planned. I feel like I've been pretty good emotionally, and giving myself grace, and just, accepting kind of things how they've been, but trying to improve and trying to keep moving, keep doing something every day. And, looking at the quadrant and just trying to really think, just take action even when the results aren't exactly where I want them to be right now. I've had a lot going on. My daughter just got married 3 weeks ago. And so I think, I was so busy with that and did take some time off, and it's kind of evident that, it's just more proof that the consistency probably has something to do with my lull now. So trying to get back in.
Good. You want to share anything with that, Lance?
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing on that, Pat. I mean, it's so true, right? We need to kind of always do the do really every day to make sure that our business keeps that flow going. And again, because if people don't see you, if they don't know you're out there, again, it's out of sight, out of mind, one of those things. And having a business that we do from home, we have to be out there, and people need to know we're out there, whether or not we're in our networking groups locally or out on social media. So thanks for sharing that. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you see the personal growth in yourself, that you're not letting
Yeah.
it, that it sounds like you're more emotionally resilient to it. So
This
recognizing,
week, it can come and go, but right now I feel like it's been good.
that's great. That's great. What's something that you're working on? What's your opportunity at this point?
One of my challenges lately has been just connecting with my like physically making phone calls with my clients, or successfully making my phone calls. I feel like I've noticed that a lot of my clients are they come into it which I did at looking for a way to lose weight and don't see the bigger picture. And I think I'm having a hard time kind of getting past that, getting them integrated. And so many of them seem kind of like they don't want phone calls. And so I have a hard time kind of pushing past that. I don't want to bother them and so then even if I get myself to call them, a lot of times I don't reach them. I have a hard time getting them to agree on a time. And then if I do reach them, I feel like so many of them I talk to so rarely that it's hard for me to bring up coaching at that point, because then I feel like I'm coming across as selling because I never talked to them, and here I am, you should coach, so I think those, just my client relationships right now, I mean, I could go into each level of the quadrant or each square of the quadrant and pick out things I can do better, but that one is bothering me most right now, I think.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Can anybody relate to that, what Pat is saying? Want to raise, show of hands or whatever. And I mean, that's part of the reason we want to do this, is just to talk about it. But most importantly, what's the opportunity, and what are some things that we could do that would maybe start to shift that a little bit. And the one thing we know is that we are introducing our clients to something that they are unfamiliar with, right? Optavia is unlike anything that they have ever experienced. And so it's not surprising that they come into it with potentially a dieter's mindset. Hey, just let me have that meal plan. I got this. I'll let you know if I need you. So, what we're learning, and especially some talk that happened at Sundance, was just the importance of posturing our relationship with our clients up front, from that very first health assessment, describing what we're going to offer them, and really getting that agreement and that conferment that, hey, this is what's it's going to involve. It's going to involve, you and I are going to have a close personal relationship, and this is for your benefit. And here's why, and here's what it'll look like. Are you up for that? Right. The other piece, Dr. Anderson, and we're going to spend some time on another call talking about, Dr. Anderson has really talked about the Habits of Health transformational system and using the coaching guide and from the beginning. So the goal being really that we're going to level up with our coaching, and level up with the really probably even the types of clients that we bring in, the ones that are really ready to start taking that next step or in a better position. So I think for me, what has helped the most is when I posture the relationship up front with the client and just say, hey, here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to get you started your first, few days. We're going to talk, and then we're going to talk every week. And just instead of waiting for their agreement, or do they want this, or do they like it, they're kind of driving it, that we really take that role and the importance of who we are as their coach and step into it. And really, and I think the more people have the buy-in, and more importantly, that they see what's in it for them, the more likely they're going to be a part of it.
Yeah, who's had success on the plan? Raise your hand. All right. Why did you have success on the plan? A coach introduced it to you, right? So my point is, again, just to have that confidence, right? The total program of we know the program works, and it's because of the coach, and the coach presented it to a client, and that's why we're all here today. So again, feel confident in that. Again, people, if you know they're blowing you up, still leave them a message. I love you, man. Miss you. What's going on? Call me. You know, I'd love to help you. Those kind of things. It's important, whether it's text, email, voicemail, what are the other tools that are out there? Marco Polos, whatever they may be, right? But just make sure they know that you're out there for them and you're rooting for them, because that's what a coach does. Coaches, you know, they're on the sideline rooting for players on the field. And so it's so important, and feel confident in that they do need to hear that. I think everybody needs to hear that somebody's rooting for them. So anyway.
And you're exactly right, Pat. I think that it's got to be through that verbal relationship with our client that then we could easily have conversations around coaching and how it'll benefit them. And without that verbal, you know, it's hard to get that message across. I see Meg Johnson on the phone. Meg, I want you to give the secret sauce, what you call the D. Korchin approach when I want to talk to my clients.
Oh yeah.
This works for you. So
this definitely worked for me. So what Dee did when I was dodging her, which happened a few times, unfortunately, was she would leave me a voicemail and she would say, "Hey Meg, I have something I really want to ask you or talk to you about. Could you give me a call back?" And y'all, I could not handle that. I couldn't handle it. I had to know. They say curiosity kills the cat. So don't worry about having a big tip or anything prepared. The point of that is just connecting with them at that point and asking hey, how are things going? You've just been on my heart lately, whatever the case may be. Dee didn't have anything huge to share with me when she was I really need to ask you something, but it was just that point of connection. So that was really helpful for me and something I've used that's been really successful.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Pat, for that. That was good. You want to introduce Val and have her?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go live to Appleton, Wisconsin, and Val holding up the Midwest for us up there. So in the snow. But yeah, Val, you've been with us now. What? I want to say earlier this year, late last year.
I started coaching in September of last year, so just
September
a little over a year.
Yay!
Yeah.
Congrats! So why don't you share what things are really working well, and what are your opportunities that you're working on?
Okay, I can do that. So for me, the sharing of the program, I feel like having been a coach now for a little over 12 months, I thought that Paul Blanchard video clip this morning was perfect. Just be loud and proud and share the program. And I'm finally to a point where I don't feel insecure about sharing our program. I've heard Larry say this to me, other people say, that Optavia is a gift that we have to offer. And once I put it into that perspective, it really changed the way I thought about how I can offer the program to people. I don't feel, and I don't want to say I felt embarrassed, but sometimes you feel like people are judgy and, making comments and, oh, there's Val again. And I just feel like, what, we have this gift, and when people are ready, I've got it available for you. So I feel like I finally have gotten over that hurdle, and, getting clients set up, getting them going, that first, month on plan, I feel like I've got that all under control. But one of the things that I struggle with is talking about the social media presence. And so the 333 video, I actually wanted to rewatch that video because I struggle with not doing that every day. So I kind of wanted to get a feel from this group, I'm sure all of you are in the same boat. I mean, I work a full-time corporate job. I've got 3 kids, and I want to do a good job at everything, but you're pulled in so many different directions. And so struggling with what to post, am I being authentic, getting out there 3 times a day, that's the part that I struggle with. And I can see that when I'm not posting as much, I can also feel it in my book of business. When I look at my numbers, I'm like, I'm a little, light this month. And it's because I just got sidetracked with other things. And so trying to fit it all in and just keep my day organized with not impeding, Optavia on my corporate job and, that kind of thing. So that's what I've been struggling with. And Pat, I totally agree with what you said about the client support. Sometimes that's hard too, trying to figure out when to get all the calls in and, not seeming like a pest to people, even though I feel like 100 times better after I actually leave a message because like, I did my part and I'm here for them. So those are my issues that I would kind of wrote out for this call. So.
Well, great stuff. Well, thanks for sharing on that. Again, the challenges of just meeting every day's needs. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we all have. There's several of us that have corporate jobs. We have other things going on. We have family issues that we have to deal with. Again, give yourself grace. I mean, you try to do the best you can. You try to block and tackle everything there. Grace is important, and just take those couple minutes when you feel that. We learned a lot in Sundance. I wish we could have all brought you there, but we learned a lot in Sundance. And one of those things is when you start to feel anxiety, any kind of emotion, just pause and let it just kind of run through your body and just sense it, and then kind of let it go. Because if you try to force that emotion down, it's not going to work. It's going to keep coming back at you. Again, it could be anger, it could be sadness, whatever. But you've got to let that emotion go through you and release it from that standpoint. So don't try to push that down. So that was something we learned. But anyway, Val, thanks for sharing. That was awesome. So we're going to move on.
Well, I want to address what she talked about with the 333. One, I think it's terrific that you're feeling that confidence, like you've stepped into that place with offering the program and all that. So go all out with that and keep sharing. And then with the 333, the little video clip that we showed at the beginning, that's a business coach and inspirational speaker named Darren Hardy. And he does every morning, he does called Darren Daily. And you can subscribe to it. You can go to darrendaily.com. But he's got little tips. It's like usually less than 5 minutes. But one thing he had the other day was he talked about the busy factor, and that, there's so many competing priorities in our life. But one thing he really did say was that the things that are important to us, whether that's your workout in the morning or whatever it is, to schedule it. Because when we schedule it, if you expect it to get done, to schedule it and then honor your own schedule. So I know that what some individuals have done, and you might find this helpful, is that for that 333, and if you're new to the call, that means what's one of our social media strategies of doing 3 posts a day, 3 interactions by private message with people, and meeting 3 new people, 3 new connections. But you could schedule it. So like just put it on your calendar, perhaps, where first thing in the morning, lunchtime, and before you go to bed. Do 1 of each of those categories at each time. So it doesn't seem overwhelming, like I need 3 posts. And then hopefully during the day, something will inspire you. One thing that I do a lot of is I save other people's posts. If you see a post that you like that somebody did, is the 3 little dots on the upper right hand corner, click it, and then you can save it, and you can actually create categories. So I have categories for transformation stories, recipes, inspiration. And so I will very often just go there and then just regurgitate. I put my own spin on it, but regurgitate. So you don't have to constantly be thinking of new ideas. But we'll talk about social media in a little bit, but maybe actually getting that schedule, because you're exactly right. You see what happens when you do and you don't have that consistency with it. So is that helpful, Val?
Yeah, I love the saving of it, because I think sometimes it's like I'm putting pressure on myself to come up with this like amazing post, and then I don't do it because it sucks. It's like, this is terrible, so I'm just not going to do it. So it's good. I like the inspiring and putting your own spin on it. So that I need to just start saving those and putting them aside.
Yeah. I think you'd find that helpful. And then when you hear that little voice in the head, that's something we talked about, what you need and you don't need in this business.
Yes.
Push that voice aside, because probably what you post is awesome, and it will positively impact somebody. So yeah, just like that Darren Hardy thing said, right? We can sometimes get in our own way.
Yeah, Dee mocks at me because I'll get something and she's like, "What does that make you feel like?" So I go, "Makes me feel like nothing," So it's like I struggle just for just applying it in my life and maybe having an impact for other people. So I struggle with posting a lot myself. So it's always good tips here.
So. All right, awesome. Thanks, Val. So we thought we'd hit on a few things that might help you just as you're continuing to look and connect with people and reconnect. I know a lot of us, as we look at the end of the month, we're looking at our end of the month goals, as well as everything that we're doing now, the things that we talked about, the consistency, maybe adding some things to what you're doing to increase your presence, your connections with people. Everything we're doing now, we're sowing, like kind of like the farmer, we're sowing that we're going to see those results probably in November, December, and January. So, so just always remember that we're in this for the long game, right? So when you're posting or when you're doing something or you're having conversations with people, our real role is just connections. Like we are just connecting with people and being friendly social people and letting people know what we have to offer. That is our primary goal when we're talking about client acquisition or coach acquisition, as well as support. We want people to know we're there. So it's always remember we're in it for the long game. So everything that you're doing is you're building relationships for the long term. And I also want you to know that, you know, Larry and I, we're growing too. Like we are in growth mode. We are doing all these action steps. We are always looking to help more people. And, you know, I ordered the same health coach kit you did. You know, I ordered mine 8 years ago. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've had to reevaluate what I'm doing, add to, take away, change gears, realize, whoa, I need a whole new social circle and maybe join a different group to meet more friends. So everything where we are is just an involvement that's happened over time. And so that would be my message too, is when you look at yourself and where you are, just don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid, you know, be objective with yourself, look at your consistency, and maybe add to. So we've got so much training available to, you know, you can go out, there's so many trainings on social media, there's boot camps. So really, we're probably not going to tell you anything new, but we're just going to touch on a few things that have been working for us lately and that we thought could be helpful for you. And I think that the number one thing that I have found, and this kind of follows on what Val was talking about with social media, was I found myself that I was actually just doing more posting and less interacting with people. And I don't know, maybe that might be you, but you know, anytime we've talked about social media, that the real strategy and purpose of what we're doing is just keeping and building relationships with people. So one idea and something that has worked well for us is I've just been posting a lot of our personal life. So I posted a lot of when we were out at Sundance. I did a Facebook Live and just did a tour of the room that we were in. We had our anniversary and I, you know, posted his birthday. But what was interesting was I got so many more responses. And then what I did is what we're always told to do, and I had not been doing very well. And so maybe this is you, but I actually went out and started interacting with the people that liked or commented on my post. So if it was our anniversary post, it was just, hey, thanks a lot for, you know, liking my anniversary post. I haven't heard from you in a while. We haven't talked. What's new in your world? And so that actually was really fun to do because it generated a lot of new conversations, but it gave me something new and different to focus on. So that's where a lot of my energy has been. So maybe that might work for you because it's been very, very fun to reconnect. And I feel like I'm having more of a presence out there. And social media really is about just building your presence and your interaction with people.
Yep, absolutely. Is social media, you know, and one of the things, again, like Dee mentioned, posts are great, but it's the communication, right? We have to work the systems, and there's multiple systems. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn. I get a lot of more communication through LinkedIn only because I came out of the corporate world. Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest is out there. I don't know if anybody tweets, but there's a lot of different things out there. Facebook is not the only item out there. And so experiment, try things, learn, and then come back here and share. That's what we're all about from that standpoint. Let me take down here about, are you going here?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing too, Facebook Lives and anything live, we know has more traction these days, just the way social media is. So give it a shot. Again, you know, it's not going to be perfect the first time. Nothing ever is. It's when we were babies, we fell the first couple times, right? So don't panic about it. Give it a shot, because if you're nervous, guess what? There's probably 10 people that would never do a Facebook Live. So again, give it a shot, and again, use your resources, and we can help you with that as well.
Thank you, Jordan. Jordan just posted a great thing. She said, be authentic. And so actually a messy Facebook Live is actually a great Facebook Live. Like, I think Frank might've been on one day when I was doing it, and Larry didn't know I was on, and he's firing up the printer behind me, and it's making a racket, and, you know, but it's, you know, it's distracted me, but it makes it fun. But whereas when we were talking with Val, we talked about, oh, like this post seems dumb or it doesn't seem perfect. A Facebook Live really brings authenticity to it, and to who we are. And that's what people are craving these days, is they are craving authenticity. But two things that I've heard recently that are good is bring a transformation story to life. So we're so good at posting pictures of transformations, but what could be even more fun is either you with your business coach, or you with a client on your team, or a coach on your team, is do an interview. And if I can show you offline, or I can post about how to do that, but do a little interview and bring it to life. And then that will have much more punch and much more power in terms of what people really see, and that we are real people really changing lives.
Yep, absolutely.
And so you could also share your story in a Facebook Live, share why you're coaching. People may not know, or you're making new connections all the time, so they may not know your story. Create other channels. I think that would be probably the biggest message I would have, is check yourself and check where are you putting your energy for your business, because most effective businesses in any industry have multiple channels that they're working, right? So you might have a business that has an online presence as well as a store, or, you know, a restaurant might be on social media and doing print ads and have a marketing representative that's out in the community. So you want to be looking to see what else are you doing to help create a presence and awareness of what you do as a coach. So Larry, you recently joined a new meetup group. You want to share about that?
Yeah, I'm in a networking group on Tuesday mornings, and it's really good. There's a couple things. First of all, it gets me up and out and prepared, because every week we have to do a little, you know, 1 minute about our business and what's going on. And then every so many weeks you get a 10-minute, depending on how big the group is. So it's important, right, to be prepared to share and what's going on in your business, and what you can offer to the community as far as that business goes. So it's important to do that. But there's a host of things, you know, your church groups, whatever it may be, being involved, and then people know who you are out there.
Yeah, and Larry joined a hiking group. You know, I always say do something that you love, like just join a group or do a volunteer or doing something that you love. And the number one thing to remember with all of this is it's not to go and join a group to get people, right? Like, it's just to go and meet people and make more connections, and just because you never know what that could potentially lead to, right? And it's fun, you know, so that would be something. And I would also recommend this time of year, if you've been coaching more than a day, reach to your inactive clients. You know, they said yes at one point. So reach out to them, a phone call, letting them know you're still available for them. We've got the new transformational system. We have, you know, the opportunity for them to coach. There's all sorts of things that could do that help them do their journey a little bit differently this time, possibly with more success, or maybe the timing is just right. But I know for us, we've been coaching for a long time, and reaching out to inactives always awakens somebody to come back. And then a community event, maybe Lisa Bloom, I know she had something last month, and she's having a healthy, like, happy hour at her house tomorrow night. She's inviting people over just to share what she does, have some social time with people, and doing something in person. So there's all sorts of things that we can do that can be connecting and reconnecting with people in our lives. So we'll take this over to our Facebook group, guys. And if you have more ideas, we'd love for you to share them there. And thank you to Pat and to Val for sharing tonight. And
yeah, just one last thing. I've sent some emails out to some folks. I've been watching the Premier Report, and, you know, we've had some some challenges with that report as far as the information. Just one point of order there. I would, and I learned this out in Sundance, when you look at your Premier report on the very first day of the month, I've been told figure 70% of that, okay, is the number that you're going to end up at. So I've heard a couple coaches say, well, I start the month here and then my number's less than that. What's happening? Well, what happens is clients drop off. Clients are no longer on plan, right? Because they've transitioned out, and so they may have cut their orders or stopped their orders completely. Some clients drop off, or you do have clients that again have issues with credit cards, etc. So watch your Premier account, your Premier report. And again, if something you think is going to fire, question it, because I'm not so sure if we're even getting notifications right now on like credit cards not going through. So it's important to follow up. I followed up with a couple coaches today, and I know they're working on those items, but just keep an eye on that until that report gets a little filtered out. I've been keeping a close eye on that. So anyway.
Yeah. So talking about projected Premier, and what might not be a bad idea is take a look at your projected Premier like for tomorrow. What's scheduled to go tomorrow, and then check your notifications in the morning. Did they all go through? Hopefully you either received a notification if they changed it or postponed the processing date. But I had 2 situations where it was a client credit card issue, but for whatever reason didn't receive a notification, but it gave me the opportunity to reach to the client today because I was aware that the order was supposed to be going.
Yep.
So, all right, Monday nights are packed of information for you guys. If you check on our coach page, there's the link to Dr. A's call, which is at 8 o'clock, the field training at 8:30, and then Dan Bell has a call that you can join in at 9. So join in what you can. We appreciate every single one of you guys being on tonight, and we're going to look forward to seeing you in our Facebook group and next week. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.